In The Guardian, Richard Dawkins' event canceled over his abusive speech against Islam. Berkeley's KPFA radio cancels appearance by evolutionary biologist after learning of his hurtful speech against the religion, a charge the author contests. Richard Dawkins has denied using abusive speech against Islam after a California radio station canceled a book event with the scientist, citing his comments on Islam, which it said had offended and hurt so many people. The people that paid for this talk that Richard Dawkins was going to give about his new book, the fans were emailed that the thing was canceled, and Richard Dawkins sent a letter to KPFA saying, "I used to love your station when I lived in Berkeley for 2 years. Shortly after that, beloved place had become the iconic home of free speech. I listened to KPFA almost every day during those years, and I regularly contributed to your fundraising drives. Grateful for your objective reporting and humane commentary while I participated in the People's Park and Vietnam War demonstration. It was therefore a matter of personal sorrow to me to receive this morning your truly astonishing justification for deplatforming me." Subject: notification for Richard Dawkins' Science in the Soul. Selected writings of a passionate rationalist. Dear Richard Dawkins event ticket buyers, we regret to inform you that KPFA has canceled our event with Richard Dawkins. We had booked this event based entirely on his excellent new book on science, when we didn't know he had offended and hurt in his tweets and other comments on Islam so many people. KPFA does not endorse hurtful speech. While KPFA emphatically supports serious free speech, we do not support abusive speech. We apologize for not having had broader knowledge of Dawkins' views much earlier. We also apologize to all those inconvenienced by this cancellation. Your ticket purchase, blah, blah, blah. So we also have, it's in the New York Times. Let's see. New York Times. Richard Dawkins event canceled over past comments about Islam. Mr. Dawkins was to promote his new book, Science in the Soul, Selected Writings of a Passionate Rationalist, before an audience of hundreds of paying ticket holders on August 9th. The event was also to be a fundraiser for its host, the radio station KPFA. There's a letter from Michael Shermer to KPFA. I am writing to protest the cancellation of the Richard Dawkins event. According to your notification statement, KPFA does not endorse hurtful speech or abusive speech that Dawkins allegedly expressed in his Twitter account and other sources. And he goes on to say he's known him for decades and he's disappointed. You know what? So what I'm getting from all the reading I'm doing online is that when Dawkins and I think Shermer and a few other people mention this, that when they criticize Christianity or Judaism, it's fine, you know, everything's good. Then when it gets to the protected species of Islam, you're not allowed to criticize the religion. I myself I don't know him, but I've been following Richard Dawkins for a long time, and he says things about ideas. He talks about bad ideas, which I think is a great idea. And his bad ideas include about every religion. I think the only one the major known atheists don't attack is Jainism. And but they you know, they're equal opportunity criticizers of all religious faiths. I don't see people like Richard Dawkins going around and criticizing people like you're ugly because you're a Muslim, or you know, things like that. He doesn't do that. And if these professional crybabies, they have conned the regressive and authoritarian left into being their defendants. And if you listen to them, if you listen to the serious Islamists, basically the people that are defending them, the people that are, you know, trying to protect them at all costs from hurtful things about their religion, just criticizing their religion. The first people that go against the Quran and Sharia law are the people on the left, the people that are same-sex unions, women that want to be independent. Just about everything on the left would be the first to go if Islam had control. And of course, in countries where they do run everything, they are. If you're gay, you get a free trip off a tall building down to the sidewalk. Trying to protect ideas is not a good thing. And when we have places that should be the beacons of free speech, and were at one time shutting down talks because somebody said something on Twitter one time. And this is insane. There's only one group of people that are going to win. Islam is a minority in some countries. It's a minority in the US and European countries, but they're a majority in other parts of the world. So there's like 1.6, last count was like 1.6 billion Muslims. There might be more by now. They're not, I mean, it's not like there's a couple tribes somewhere on an island. I don't get this. I really don't. I don't get people on the regressive left bending over backwards to protect the feelings of the infinite hurt feelings of Islamic. They don't do that for the Christians. I criticize the Christians myself. Just like Dawkins, I criticize all religion. I criticize bad ideas. I also listen to people that criticize my ideas. There's a lot of people that I follow on YouTube and Twitter that are politically the exact opposite of me. I listen to what they have to say. I don't run around crying all butthurt. You know, I consider myself on the left. You know what I see all day on Twitter and YouTube, libtards and you liberals, but it's like I could cry and say, oh, you know, feel sorry for me. Stop it. Stop these people from hurting my feelings. They're not. First of all, they're not hurting my feelings. They're expressing themselves. So if you're a grown up, you're a big boy and girl. You can take people criticizing your culture or your religion or whatever it is. But if you need to be protected, then you need to grow up. And the people doing it need to back off and let people say what they have to say. Anything short of inciting violence or something illegal is free speech. Goodbye.
I don't like the word Islamophobia. I think it's an invented word which is much overused and misused. What I'm phobic about is beheading people, killing apostates, cutting off the clitorises of small girls, setting young women on fire because they want to marry somebody who's not their cousin. That's what I'm phobic about. If you want to call that Islamophobia, you can do so. So I don't think the word is a useful one. And I agree with you that although most religions, if not all religions, have evil aspects to them, some are worse than others. You can't say they're all equally bad. And I think you'd have to look hard to find one that was worse than Islam.
Right now or always?
Oh, well, in the past, Christianity was just as bad, but we're talking about now. And those people who say, oh, well, Christianity is just as bad, look at the witch hunts of Salem and look at the Crusades and things. That was a long time ago. It makes a difference.
Yes, I often say, well, if I was alive during the Crusades, I would be criticising Christianity.
Yeah.
On one hand, we can be a bit fed up with people on college campuses uninviting Ayaan Hirsi Ali from speaking.
Or me, for that matter.
Have you been uninvited? Are you an Islamophobe?
I was uninvited, and then 3 weeks later, I was, with an apology, re-invited again.
Specifically on the right side of the aisle. And that's certainly crazy, but there's also a crazy phenomenon happening on the left, especially in our college campuses. You've mentioned it a little bit earlier today, the political correctness, but I'm wondering what your thoughts as to why that's occurring on college campuses, this political correctness, SJW, safe spaces phenomenon.
Yes, I was on the faculty in Berkeley in the late 1960s, which was shortly after the free speech movement. So Berkeley was the home of the free speech movement on campuses. Berkeley now is betraying the free speech movement by denying a voice to people because they are likely to give offense to people on campus. The moment somebody like Ayaan Hirsi Ali is invited to give a speech, the Islamic Society in the university, this happened in Brandeis, for example, will complain, and immediately their complaint is upheld, and she gets disinvited. This pathetic eagerness not to offend anybody, particularly not to offend Muslims, but not to offend anybody. And thus you get these ridiculous so-called safe spaces. Play-Doh. Puppies and kittens to play with in case what on earth is a university for, other than to be challenged, other than to be invited to think for yourself?